Wilson for lastory.com. How often do you think about your Wi-Fi speed? Probably not often, except maybe if you're working on a mobile. But let's carry this thing forward for a minute. When you're looking at getting a good internet connection, do you think about what you can do to improve it rather than just complaining about it? Do you think about the modem that you have? And if you don't have a modem, what do you use? But we've got somebody here who can answer this question about how to get better Wi-Fi speed and get the most out of your internet connection. And it's Arris's Vice President of Marketing, Duncan Potter. So we're going to talk about all these cool things. So how are you today, Duncan?
I'm very well indeed. Thank you.
You're welcome. What can people do, and how can they actually ascertain if they need to get a better modem?
Well, the first thing to do is to think about obviously you can run speed tests and this kind of thing, but the thing that you really need to think about is what technology you're using to connect to the internet, to your operator, and also then what are you using in the house. And there's a few things to think about. The first thing to think about is what generation, how old is that device that's actually you're using to connect. Standards have moved on with very rapid pace, and we're now deploying a whole range of technology which allows us to make use of the vast number of connections and channels that are available from our operators. On the other side, what you have is a whole range of capabilities on your wired and Wi-Fi infrastructure that you need to be thinking about. So a few of those things to think about is, firstly, don't hide the wireless infrastructure. If you've got a wireless router, once you've evaluated it and made sure that it's something that's of a later generation, make sure that you bring it out of the closet. Don't hide it in the basement. All of those things will cut down your Wi-Fi performance. Another thing to think about is don't put it next to a cordless phone, especially a 2.4 gigahertz cordless phone, but a cordless phone. And don't put it right in the kitchen. Don't put it next to the microwave. Both of those can actually interfere with the Wi-Fi signal to a point where they will literally interrupt viewing or they will dramatically slow down your performance. And then if you have gamers and very active online gamers, then make sure that you're providing them with a wired connection, because that will reduce the lag and the screaming that you're likely to get. What you also need to think about is plugging them into what we call a DMZ. That means isolating them really from the rest of your infrastructure so that it gives them a direct route out onto the internet. So those are just a few.
About the gaming, that's really good news to people to have that ahead of Christmas.
Yes. So the product that we're recommending for the avid gamer right now is a product called the SB6183. And this has a whole series of characteristics which mean that gamers and people who love to stream HD video and all of those kind of things really get the benefits of an incredibly fast connection. Some of the things when you're evaluating this kind of technology, especially if you're connected to cable, is you really want to look at its connection type. And you'll see numbers like 16 by 4. And that means 16 channels, not TV channels, these are the internet connection channels, coming into your home, and 4 going out of your home. Obviously, the majority of traffic is actually coming into your home, especially if you're streaming.
Right.
The second thing that you want to look for is to make sure that that modem has the latest standard. Now, the standard that is deployed by most operators right now is called DOCSIS 3.0. Now, don't worry about the DOCSIS thing. It's really the 3.0 that's important. Mm-hmm. And then another thing to look at is whether it supports dual processor. And especially if you have a large family or a large number of devices, this is very important, because what it means is that your modem can handle a lot more things going out and in at the same time. It means that you're literally separating the processor cores that are used for traffic coming in and traffic going out. And then if you're really looking at a wireless connection, there's a few more things to think about. You really want to look at the standard of wireless that is being used. And the latest standard is something called 802.11. Again, forget the 802.11, that just means wireless. But it's the letters that come after it. And what you're really looking for is a thing that says AC. Think of it as awesome connection. It's 3 times faster than the technologies that have been deployed up until now. But most modems, if they support AC, they'll also support what's called dual band, and that will support all of your existing devices as well. So you're not leaving anything out in the cold or having to change all of your technology. It means that you literally have available the highest possible connection speeds. And then again, the other thing that you really want to do, if you have gamers especially, is to make sure that they have a wired connection, which is connected into what's called a DMZ, which keeps them separate. It keeps them separate and gives them the fastest possible connection through your infrastructure out onto the internet. Right,
because they're looking at things moving at the rate of as they're punching them in.
Absolutely. A high-performance gaming, and especially if you're looking at some of the latest games that are coming out, like Call of Duty, can be prone to what they call lag. And that literally, any form of lag, even if it's small parts of a second, is the difference between being very successful and literally game over. And their recommendation is highly likely to be that what you do is you connect your gaming station directly into the either the cable modem or maybe into the router through a wired connection, which is the best way to reduce that kind of lag. It also means that your wireless infrastructure is still going to work in a relatively uninterrupted way.
And that's pretty crucial for a lot of people. I know I just moved, so I had to redo all the configurations of our current situation. But in my previous house, I did everything wrong, well, almost everything wrong, that you mentioned, don't do this. I had it in a closet, and then I had to put a booster up on, because I had 3 floors, so I put the booster upstairs because we weren't getting good wireless reception. It was really crazy, and now I realize, oops.
Yeah, no, it's a very common problem. I mean, luckily, a lot of the technology is a lot smaller now, so it's a lot less intrusive. So that means that we can put it in a much more optimal place in the house. We've got the ability to provide wireless extenders, which give you that all-important coverage. So if you want to watch look at your tablet while you're sitting in bed, you're not struggling with the connection or getting a really bad connection. It also means that what we can do is we can provide these different bands of wireless which move you out of the spectrum or the frequency that could cause problems with things like cordless phones and microwaves and things like that. So all of those things are very important.
Okay, question for you. At what point does somebody need to sit down and rethink about and look at what kind of modem they have and need to upgrade?
That's a great question. If you have a modem that's been around for a few years and it's sort of been sitting there and it's a bit dusty, it's probably a really good idea to reevaluate it. The second thing that you should be thinking about is whether you're actually paying a rental fee for that modem, and it may be the time to actually go buy a modem yourself and sort of take control of it. Almost, all of the operators will support you in terms of making sure that that modem's going to work effectively, because it's obviously in their interest to make sure that you have the best connection possible. And if you're buying your own technology, it means that you're a little bit more in control. It also means over the life of this, it's highly likely that you'll end up saving some money.
I love that idea. And I think it makes a lot of sense, because I know that we bought a new modem in the last place, and then things got better, relatively speaking. I mean, I still have problems, as you said, like problems with connecting while I was sitting there trying to work my tablet while I was sitting and watching TV in bed, and I'm kind of going, okay, this isn't working.
Yeah, so what you'll find is that the higher the frequency, generally the shorter the range, and that's why things like wireless extenders become so important as well. So the most important thing to do is to think logically about the things that matter. You've got sources of interference, which we've covered. You've got distance, makes a big difference. And then if what you're doing is you're covering up the sort of heart of your home infrastructure, which is the cable modem or your wireless access point or your wireless router, if you're covering that up and you're shoving it in a closet or you've got it in the basement, then clearly that's not going to be providing you with the kind of optimum experience that you're going to need for all of these new connectivity types and new devices that you may be connecting over the next few years.
Okay. So somebody had more questions and wanted to go find out about the modems that you were talking about. Where would they go find that information?
Well, the first place to go is surfboard.com. So easy to remember. And what that gives you is it gives you information about all of the products that we provide in this area. It gives you buyer's guide. It gives you a comparison between all of the different products and how you might want to use it. And then those products are for sale through outlets like Best Buy, Amazon.com. So at that point, once you've made your choice, go shopping.
Oh, cool. And if they had questions for you, how would they reach you?
I can be reached at duncan.potter@arrisi.com, which is Arris, ARRISI.com. Or you can come in through our website and go to Ask Arris. So come to arris.com and go in through Ask Arris, and we'll do our best to provide you with whatever support you need.
Super. That's great. Thank you so much. This has been really an interesting conversation. I had no idea all these things came into play, and it's good to know that there's somebody out there you can actually find out and get the best product for, particularly before you buy that next Xbox or PlayStation, and then have the kids screaming at you.
Well, we're very happy to help with that. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. And people, you'll find all the information on the blog post. And thank you, Duncan, for all your time today. And this is Stevie Wilson for LAstory.com saying see you soon, people. Bye.
Bye-bye.